How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Pete's Carport, and welcome to another Harbor Freight tool review video. Now, if you're new to this channel, which I'm guessing most of you will be for this video, I went ahead and purchased a new home that has a fair amount of property. Now, a very beautiful fair amount of property. And with that comes yard work, and with that you need tools. So I decided to do some research on some battery powered cordless tools, and I came across Harbor Freight Atlas line because I wanted something a little more durable, something that I can use on all this property, and something that's going to last me a long time. Now, I did look into several other options, but for the price, especially with the specials that Harbor Freight has, and I highly recommend you wait or look for sales, and I'll explain to you what I paid and what I did on these. You're going to get very good quality tools at a very affordable price. Now, when it came to the lawnmower, I did go ahead and get a gas powered lawnmower, but when it comes to these type of tools, I wanted to go cordless because I'm going to be moving around a lot. I didn't want to have a plug-in type style one, and I didn't want to have a bunch of gas powered tools that have a tendency to break down often and need maintenance and all that type of stuff, and also smell, and they're loud. So this is what I landed on. These are the Atlas line. They are commercial quality style tools, and the ones that I went with were all 80 volt. Now, there are some 40 volt line tools that I plan on getting, at least one of them, the hedge trimmer, because they don't make that in 80 volt. But the cool thing about the batteries for the 80 volt is they can be used on the 40 volt. So even if you switch over to the 40 volts, you can use the same batteries. So let me explain what I did for the purchase. So Harbor Freight had a special a while back, and it's one that they do run often, where you buy the battery for $150 and you get the tool for free. Now, while I was there, I went ahead and signed up for the ITC membership that day because this was discounted down about $20, and the membership I think was $30. So really it cost me almost nothing for that membership. And then with that membership, I was able to get the blower on a 20% discount the other weekend because they had an additional 10% discount for members. So that was a great deal right there. Already paid for more than that membership now. So what I got with the battery special was the Atlas brushless 10-inch pole saw. So I went ahead and picked that up, came with the battery, and I picked up the charger. And I also went ahead and picked up the Atlas brushless 16-inch cordless string trimmer that is an 80 volt as well. And that one obviously came with a battery as well. So I have two batteries now. I paid $300 for these two tools, and then this one here was on sale at 20% off, and I can't remember the exact price, but I want to say it was either $59 or $69 minus the 20%, but I'll put that on the screen now. So for a lot less money than some of the competitors out there, I ended up with these three amazing tools. They're all 80 volt, like I said. And I've had a chance to test out the pole saw. So I went ahead and got the pole saw first. I wanted to test it out because I've never used a pole saw or a cordless saw in general. Only use a corded saw or a gas powered saw. And guys, I was blown away at the power that this tool has and how long it lasted. Now, there is a couple things that I'm going to point out because this is the first time, like I said, I've ever used a cordless or battery powered type tool like this. And I needed to know a little bit more about it before doing this video. So I've done quite a bit of cutting with this one here. And the one thing that I got to point out that you might not figure out right away if this is the first time you're buying one is it does need oil. So I went ahead because the salesperson was very nice and recommended that I picked up this bar and chain oil here, and I'm very glad I did. They do sell this right here at Harbor Freight, or you can pick it up pretty much any of the hardware stores, Lowe's, Home Depot, and your Ace Hardwares. But the tool did come with this. It burned through this very quickly, guys, and I'm going to show you what I cut and about the amount of time that I got out of this oil. So you do need to add the oil, and that goes up in this chamber here. And that is really it when it comes to assembling this and outside of just your normal read through the instructions. So the pole screws together, it extends like this. You want to take your cover off, make sure your oil is filled, and there is a fill line in there, and then it's pretty self-explanatory there. Now, I do like that it's got a safety, so you have to hold down here and pull that, and I'll show you guys that when we go to use it. And the battery just snaps in the back nicely, and I really like how the batteries snap on all these tools. I really like the construction of all these tools. They're very durable, but they're not extremely heavy, so that is very nice as well. Now, the blower, I went ahead and pulled out of the box yesterday. I finally got a chance to start using it, and I gotta say, it is amazing. Very simple to put together. Right out of the box, there's only 2 extra pieces. As you can see, the box is very small, and this piece snaps on, and then you have another piece that kind of allows it to give you a little bit more blowing power. And then the trigger and everything is pretty simple. Now, it does have a locking feature, which is nice. So you pull down the handle here, and when you pull that down, you can lock in and then unlock there. I'll show you guys the usage of that, but it's very powerful. And there's also a turbo button, so you have your turbo button up top here. Those are kind of gimmicky from every video that I've seen, because I read a lot of reviews and watched a lot of videos before making this purchase, because this is something that I do plan on having for a very long time, and it's an investment, and I know you guys out there are probably looking for the same type of thing. Something you can invest into long term and keep adding your tools on, and I feel like this is that perfect line of tools. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and unbox the 16-inch cordless string trimmer here. It is a tool that I have not used yet, so I'm going to unbox that and see how difficult it is to put together, the adjustments on it, and we're going to put it to use as well. I've got some really big areas that I need to cut down, so we'll go ahead and try that out. They do sell a 40 volt in this as well as the saw, but I really wanted to try the 80 volt for the power. So let's go ahead. I'm going to test out once again with this saw here, because I've got some branches I want to trim off, so you guys can get an idea of how easy this is to use. And we're going to go ahead and show the blower a little bit. This is kind of self-explanatory. A lot of usage with this. You can, dry off cars, you can blow off engine bays, all that type of stuff, porches obviously, and blow off leaves and stuff. But we'll test it over into these heavy leaves over here, and then we'll go ahead and pull out the string trimmer and test that out. So let's get set up. All right, guys, let's go ahead and start off with our pole saw. And as you can see, it's a lot longer now. And that is because I completely forgot about this extension piece that I had in my garage. And this gives you your full 9 feet of extension. You can see here, hopefully you can see here, how long this can go. So if you count the average length of over 6 feet and that 9 feet, you're gonna get close to 18, 19 feet of extension that you can cut up to. So very, very versatile. And you guys are gonna see here in the upcoming footage, I completely forgot to put this piece in, and I struggled a little bit reaching that really far away piece of branch, but I still got it, even without this extension. So you can still take this thing out and still reach up quite a bit. Now, what you wanna do on this, it's got the cover. So obviously we wanna remove the cover, and that's gonna reveal our chain and our saw blade, which is 10 inches. There is a way to adjust this chain, and you wanna make sure that the tension on the chain is good every time you use it. Go ahead and read the instructions to make sure you understand that, but there's a little screw, and it comes with this tool, and you can tighten up that chain. Other thing you want to make sure is your fluid is up to level. I mentioned this earlier. There's a little sight glass on the side here, and that goes quickly. So you want to make sure each time you use it that you have enough fluid in here so that the chain is lubricated and you don't wear anything out. The last thing I want to mention is I found this, and this came with our pole saw, and I'll mention later on in the video with the weed whacker that there's a little loophole on that weed whacker, but I could not find any type of strap in the bag or the box. And ironically, the pole saw comes with this little strap and probably can be used on that weed whacker. So it's kind of nice. You can have it for any of your equipment, but it does come with the pole saw. Don't know why it wasn't in the box with the weed whacker. Maybe I missed it, but I'm gonna go back and check. I don't think it came with it. But once again, guys, that we're about to use this, you're gonna see without the extension, and it worked out excellent. I love this pole saw. Let's look at the footage of me cutting down some things. See if I can cut this down with just our extension on here. There's also a little clasp on here for reaching around branches to give you more support for cutting. Now you wanna make sure you're out of the way. So we're just gonna go ahead and try to cut this branch right here. A suggestion that you tie a rope to it, have somebody pull that away. That gives you guys an idea of the power of this tool. As you saw there, easily cut through all that. The first time I used this, I probably went about 45 minutes straight of just kind of cutting through some things. No issues at all. Battery never failed on me. So I gotta say the battery's amazing on this. The saw is amazing. Extension of it's pretty good. I mean, there's not a better one that I saw on the market as far as the length of the actual pole, and you can always get a ladder and get up a little bit higher. So this kind of gives you that nice angle, that little bit of extension if you're just trying to trim like I was just doing. But I gotta say, I give this tool alone 9.5 out of 10. I can't really compare it to others as I've never used a cordless, especially a pole saw. But just based on the durability, the usage I've had so far, I love this tool, and I wouldn't go and try to buy another one. I would definitely say this is going to be with me for a long time, and I recommend it to anybody who's looking for one out there. All right, let's move on to the blower. All right, guys, next up on the plate is our blower. Very basic and simple to put together right out of the box. Snap your battery on. Like I said, I got this battery with the other tool. Technically, I bought the battery, got the tool for free, and then I just picked up this tool separately. Great thing about buying the same brand is they're universal use. Typically, this one snaps on the back here, and then it just came with these two pieces that just snap on. And after that, it's pretty much ready to go. So as far as weight, I mean, comparable to other ones I picked up at the stores, it's not too heavy, and it's a little bit heavier than some of the other ones, but not to the point where I would say that's an issue. The battery obviously adds a little weight with this big battery, so the 40 volt one would definitely be a little easier to carry around, but I wanted the power of the 80 volt. So like I said, you got your trigger here. There's a slight delay when you pull it down, and then you got your lock and your turbo. So once you have this down, you can hit your turbo. Let's go ahead and try to blow some of these leaves. I got some heavy leaves up in here in the corner, just to give you an idea of the power of this one. And then the turbo. Like I said, I just pulled this out of the box yesterday and got a chance to play around with it, and it is so much more powerful than any of the other blowers I've had. If you guys aren't familiar, I did the review on the Portland 3-in-1 that plugs into the back. Excellent for the price. I think it's $39.99 a lot of times on sales. It is a mulcher blower. It is an amazing tool, but this thing way outperforms that. Obviously no cord. The weight, very, very similar. That actually has a pretty heavy back to it as well. But this one's just real easy out of the box to put together. I would say, based on usage of other blowers, which I have a fair amount of usage with because I've picked up quite a few along the years, I would have to give this an 8.5 out of 10. So the weight with this battery, it gives it a little bit of negative. The balance is actually pretty good on this tool. But I've seen the power of some of the other cordless battery powered ones on the market that have blown this away on other reviews. So I really can't give it a 9 or 10. But just from experience this last 2 days, I've got to say it has been great. Let's go ahead and move on to our string trimmer. Let's go ahead and see how that thing works. All right, guys, so this is how the tool looks out of the box. It actually comes sort of pre-assembled. It does come with some string already installed, which is nice because I tried to take this cover off, and you guys will see here, I'll show you a little bit of it. Had a hell of a time trying to get it back on. Finally just looked at it closely, read through the instructions, and kind of figured it out. But it can be a pain in the butt because there's two pieces of string that come out from one spool, so you got to make sure it's wound up nice and tight. Outside that, everything looks super easy to install. It comes with a little Allen key tool on the cover here. The screws already are put onto the tool right here. These are two Allen key screws. And then from the instructions I read, basically slide this open. We're gonna undo these Allen head here, slide or pull in and tighten those up. And then you just got your brace bar here, which has some Phillips head screws. We're gonna loosen those up and slide that onto the bracket as well. You see exactly how that goes on, but I'll kind of zoom through that. Just make sure you read through the instructions. Yeah, that kind of just clamps on right in this general area here, I think right over that. And that'll give you your little bar for holding it. So let's get it together. To get the string to come out, I read that you just kind of press down like any other weed whacker that I've used. Press down and the string will come out and cut itself on your little guard here. So let's get the guard and our little holder on there, and let's test this thing out. Well guys, I got the weed whacker string trimmer all assembled. That was very easy. The only thing I couldn't quite figure out is this piece here, which on the blown up diagram, it says it's a harness buckle. So I don't know if that's to hang it or if there's a strap you can get for this. I did not see anything in the box and nothing in the instructions, so I'm guessing that's for a attachment or maybe just to hang it. So let's go ahead and test this thing out. Go ahead and get your gloves on and your goggles and see how easy this thing is to use. It looks like there's two buttons, a safety and then just your pull button. And that seems pretty powerful. So, and in the instructions, it says you just got to push down like any other weed whacker I've used to pull the string out. Basically, you turn it on and you press down and the string will come out. It'll self-cut itself. So we got a good length on that. And the other thing is this thing can be adjusted by loosening the screws and pulling it up and down. I'm putting it right here. I feel comfortable with that. And we'll just test it on some basic grass. I need to edge this as well anyway, so. So I gotta say, first impression is this is very, very well balanced. I'm just putting one finger on here and it feels very light because of how balanced it is, even with this heavy battery on the back. Let's go test this out on some heavier stuff over here. I've got some big old pieces that we can try cutting. All right, so I've got a little heavier area here. I don't want to go crazy because this is a little area that the butterflies like to go in, and my wife is working on a butterfly garden, so I don't want to destroy anything, but I want to test it out on some of these bigger pieces. Guys, I gotta say, these new tools that they have with these 80 and 40 volts are just unbelievable. Compared to gas powered, they're better than the gas powered from when I was growing up, and they're just so convenient, guys. This thing here is amazing. I did not expect this much power out of a cordless battery powered weed whacker, guys. So overall, I'm gonna have to give this thing a 9 out of 10 so far in use. This is the least amount of usage tool that I have so far in the lineup. So Atlas, I gotta say, did a great job. I love the color, I love the durability of this. They're just well made. Everything seems to be extremely high quality, and I'll know a little bit more in the future. So I plan on doing an update video, probably a year, 2 year, maybe even a 6-month video, and I plan on picking up more tools as we go. Do I recommend these? Extremely, extremely recommend these, especially if you get them on sale, guys. I'll put the total of what I paid for all 3 of these tools because I waited for those sales, and that's the only reason why I don't have the hedge trimmer right now, because I do need to trim a hedge up front, is because I'm waiting for that next sale to come out so I can pick up that, and I won't be needing any more batteries. As I can see, these batteries seem to have great life on them. I've got 2 of them, and I'm only going to be using 1 tool at a time. Even if I have one of my kids come out here, I've got 2 batteries. We can be doing 2 things at one time. Well, guys, once again, I appreciate you watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. If you have any questions about the length of time of these tools, maybe 2-3 years down the road, feel free to comment below. I'll try to answer them the best I can. You guys have an awesome day, a blessed week, and I'll catch you on the next video.